Welcome to Be Better channel. Today we will find out about the Alaska Purchase, one of the most significant events in American history. In 1867, the United States purchased the territory of Alaska from Russia for $7.2 million, a decision that was met with skepticism and ridicule from the American public. However, as we will see in this video, the Alaska Purchase turned out to be a shrewd decision that brought many benefits to the United States. So, join us as we explore the many benefits of the Alaska Purchase and discover how this historic event shaped the United States into the global power it is today. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel for more short videos but great knowledge. Let's start. Alaska Purchase, 1867, acquisition by the United States from Russia of 586,412 square miles, 1,518,800 square km, of land at the northwestern tip of the North American continent, comprising the current U.S. state of Alaska. Russia had offered to sell its North American territory to the United States on several occasions, but the outbreak of the American Civil War in 1861 led to the postponement of discussions. In December 1866, a year after the war's conclusion, Baron Eduard de Steckel, Russian minister to the United States, was instructed by Emperor Alexander II to open negotiations for its sale. The cost and logistical difficulties of supplying the territory had made it an economic liability to the Russians, who were additionally struggling with debt accrued during the disastrous Crimean War, 1853-56. Though Russian interactions with the native Aleut people had been largely peaceful, the Tlingit tribes were more restive, leading to sporadic episodes of violence and the interruption of provisions. Political forces in Russia increasingly looked instead toward Asian expansion, in light of the American philosophy of manifest destiny and increased competition from the British Hudson's Bay Company, which leased a southern portion of the territory, viewed the eventual control of the territory by the United States as inevitable and perhaps beneficial. Steckel approached William Henry Seward, Secretary of State under Presidents Abraham Lincoln and Andrew Johnson, through an intermediary, journalist and politician Thurlow Weed. Seward, an advocate of U.S. expansionism, had long desired Alaska. The two statesmen began private discussions on March 11, 1867. Steckel remained coy about the sale until Seward expressed interest. On March 29, 1867, Steckel and Seward completed the draft of a treaty ceding Russian North America to the United States, and the treaty was signed early the following day. The price, $7.2 million, amounted to about 2 cents per acre. Some newspapers, particularly Horace Greeley's New York Tribune, savaged the decision, variously deeming the new territory Seward's Icebox, Seward's Folly, and Walrusia. However, most Americans were ambivalent. Some supported the decision as a step toward the annexation of Canada. The treaty was submitted to the Senate for consent on March 30, 1867. Early opponent Senator Charles Sumner, swayed in part by information about the territory's abundant natural resources, gathered during Smithsonian Institution-sponsored expeditions in 1859 and 1865, spoke in its favor for more than 3 hours. It was passed on April 9. The United States officially took possession on October 18 in a flag-changing ceremony at Sitka. However, there was resistance to payment among members of the House, who were disinclined to support President Johnson, with whom they were unhappy over his dismissal of the Senate-appointed Secretary of War, in defiance of the Tenure of Office Act. The House entered articles of impeachment in February 1868, but the attempt to oust him was unsuccessful. The necessary appropriations were ultimately passed on July 14, 1868. Extensive propaganda campaigns and judicious use of bribes by Steckel secured the required votes in each House of Congress. Alaska remained under U.S. Army control until June 1877, after which it was governed briefly by the Treasury Department and then by various military authorities. Most Russians who had occupied the territory were not permanent residents and had returned to Russia following the sale. Those who remained were given the option of applying for U.S. citizenship within 3 years, but most eventually left. A civil government was installed in May 1884 after the territory became a district. Alaska was accepted into the Union as the 49th state on January 3, 1959. This deal was initially met with skepticism and ridicule from the American public, but it turned out to be a shrewd decision that brought many benefits to the United States. Let's check what are those benefits for America. 1. Expansion of territory. The most obvious benefit of the Alaska Purchase was the expansion of the United States territory. 1. Prior to the purchase, the United States was a continental power with a relatively small presence in the Pacific. 1. The acquisition of Alaska gave the United States a significant foothold in the region and helped to establish the United States as a global power. 1. Alaska is the largest state in the United States, and its acquisition increased the total area of the country by more than 20%. 2. Access to natural resources. The Alaska Purchase also gave the United States access to a wealth of natural resources. 2. Alaska is known for its abundance of oil, natural gas, gold, copper, and other minerals. 2. The discovery of gold in Alaska in the late 1800s sparked a gold rush and helped to boost the economy of the United States. 2. Today, Alaska is still a major producer of oil and natural gas, and its fisheries are among the most productive in the world. 3. Strategic importance. The Alaska Purchase also had strategic importance for the United States. 3. Alaska is situated at the northernmost point of the Pacific Ocean, and its acquisition allowed the United States to control the Bering Strait and access the Arctic Ocean. 3. During the Cold War, Alaska was an important location for the United States military, and it remains so today. 3. Alaska is home to several military bases and is considered a critical location for missile defense. 4. Cultural diversity. The Alaska Purchase also brought cultural diversity to the United States. 4. Alaska is home to several indigenous groups, including the Inupiat, Yupik, and Aleut peoples, who have lived in the region for thousands of years. 4. The acquisition of Alaska brought these groups under the jurisdiction of the United States, but it also allowed them to maintain their distinct cultures and traditions. 4. Today, Alaska is known for its cultural diversity and is home to many festivals and celebrations that showcase the traditions of the indigenous peoples. 5. Tourism. The Alaska Purchase also brought tourism to the United States. 5. Alaska is known for its stunning natural beauty, including glaciers, mountains, and wildlife. 5. The acquisition of Alaska made it easier for tourists to visit the region, and today Alaska is a major destination for tourists from around the world. 5. Tourism is an important industry in Alaska, and it provides jobs and economic growth for the state. 6. Environmental protection. The Alaska Purchase also helped to protect the environment. 6. Alaska is home to several national parks, including Denali National Park and Glacier Bay National Park, which are important for their natural beauty and wildlife. 6. The acquisition of Alaska allowed the United States to protect these areas and ensure that they would be preserved for future generations. 6. Today, Alaska is known for its commitment to environmental protection, and it is home to many conservation organizations that work to protect its natural resources. 7. Strategic resource. During World War II. During World War II, Alaska played a critical role in the war effort. 7. The region served as a staging ground for the United States military, and it was the site of several important battles, including the Battle of Attu and the Battle of the Aleutian Islands. 7. The acquisition of Alaska allowed the United States to use the region as a strategic resource during the war, and it helped to ensure victory for the Allies. Thank you for staying until this moment. That's all for today. Have a great day every day.